Every person has a story, but not everyone has a place to tell it. I'm Frank Swoboda. As a filmmaker for over 35 years, I've interviewed amazing people all over the planet. I want you to meet them. This week, the most interesting person you've never heard of is...
I'm Mandi Price, and I'm the most interesting person you've never heard of because I didn't even know my job existed before I worked at my job. But I'm a television producer.
Well, Mandi Price, welcome to the MIP podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is so great.
So the first question I have is, when people ask you what you do, what do you tell them?
I say I'm a scripted...
And first of all, cheers.
Oh, cheers, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for enjoying our whiskey. See what you think. Do the whiskey. It's the Amador taste test with Mandi Price.
It's good. It's very, very good.
You might find that.
That's very good.
Place in Los Angeles near you.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. It's very good. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's good.
Let's see.
Breakfast of champions.
As it should be. It's the weekend. Let's see. What do? I am a scripted television producer. And then everyone asks me, what does that mean?
Right.
And I then sort of explain it as I am an adult babysitter. Is also what it is.
I was hoping you would say that. I actually wrote that down to make sure you did.
I'm an adult babysitter. And what it really means is, so my title is, I'm a post-producer, so I specialize in post-production.
The editing process.
Yes. So I'm their boss.
Anything after it's filmed.
Exactly. When the director says cut. But the way that television works now is, and especially sort of in what I do and where I am in it is I'm one of the third people hired because there's so much pre-production that needs to happen with that post is involved in.
Right.
So it's, the writers and the showrunners, they're obviously hired first because we tend to have, especially on Hello Sunshine shows, we usually have the scripts done before we're filming. So,
that's a good thing.
Oh, it's the best. I love it. It's the best. I love it.
I know that people don't do that, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
It's lovely. It's lovely. So you're just involved the whole time. So it's like the showrunners and they're like the writers, they're writing, and then we're prepping, and it's like the line producer who is like the boss of physical production, and then I'm in charge of physical post production. So. And it's the job of myself, my team, and the 700 other people that 700 geniuses that I work with to get the show to air.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And when you started, I love the story you told about you started on gross boy comedies.
Yeah, I had
Can you explain that?
I had Rizzoli and Isles. That was my first show when I moved to LA. And then my second show was Future Man. And the thing that I loved about that is, it's Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. And so, they have their own, they at the time, they, had their own very clear genre of gross boy comedies.
Yeah.
And, as someone who has lived a rather sheltered life, in a kind of a firm, strict religious household, I just wasn't exposed to anything. So then, very conservative family. So then...
you were an adult babysitter immediately.
Yes. So then it was so then it became this piece of I would read the script and I'm like, what? Or, you're looking at, we have prosthetics that are crazy. And you're like,
yeah.
Am I even allowed to be looking at this? What is this?
Have we crossed? How many lines have we crossed here?
Yeah, exactly. Is this does HR need to be here? What is happening? But that show for me changed everything. It really did. It taught me how to love my job, to really love the instruction that I was given by Seth and Evan. And so they have their writer friends too, Ben, Kyle, and Ariel. Their only direction to me ever was, we just want to make this look cool. And
that's great.
What a beautiful description.
Yeah.
And it just sort of let you be so creative in whatever you wanted.
You could hang everything on that.
Yeah, so I just tried to one up every like just like, okay, can we make these lasers? Can we do this? What if we put the lasers green?
Do you need a morning superpower? Dutch Bros has your back. From a classic Americano, my personal favorite, to a wild, whipped-up Rebel energy drink, they've got what you need to conquer the day, and maybe even your inbox. Swing by your local Dutch Bros today and level up.
It was really
play.
something special, like, let's play. And so, and they're like my family. Like, I love them. That's the show. The studio is airing right now on Apple.
Yep.
And it's another Seth and Evan project.
What do you think of that?
Have you
seen
love
it?
it. Yeah. I worked on it.
You worked on
it?
That's
no my current show that's airing. Yeah.
Nick, my son, he works there, and we work together, and he came in and he goes, "You gotta see this thing, man." It's great."
Well, because you love it because it's such inside.
Yeah, I know. I really want to see it.
It's really something. That one is special, like Daisy Jones, where I think of it as like our love letter to Hollywood in a way of like Seth and Evan. We got to just grab like a bunch of our favorite friends who've been working on the films together with Point Grey or with us, or we've been in there for we got to, for the last course of the whole like our careers, we grabbed sort of our favorite people and had them guest star in it. And they said yes. And it was, from like Martin Scorsese to Ron Howard to Charlize Theron to Olivia Wilde to just like, the Future Man boys came back.
All your heroes. You get to play with.
It was really special.
Wow, that must be amazing. My son, so Daisy Jones and the Six is that series, only a couple of years it's been out, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many Emmys did that thing win? Didn't it get nominated at least
we were nominated for 9.
Crazy.
And we won 2, and then we were nominated for a couple Golden Globes. Our actors were nominated, and Critics' Choice Awards, and even a Grammy. We were nominated for
the music
because the soundtrack. Yeah.
My son had a question about that because he's a sound engineer and he's an artist too and composer. He sells beats kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
He's like, how much of that was ADR? How much of that was looped? And how much
None
of it
was? It was all live.
No way. He thought so. He's like, that is the most incredible sound.
Yeah, it was all
on
live.
that show. Really?
Yeah. So what we did is the pandemic.
And for people to know, the ADR looping is you can go back later. Yeah. You can go back later and re-sing or re-speak a line, and if you lip sync
for clarity.
Right, sometimes you have sound issues on the set, and you want to make sure it's clear or whatever.
Exactly.
But he was blown away by how good that sounded.
Yes, we recorded it. So the blessing of the pandemic. So we were supposed to go to camera 10 days before the world shut down. Or 10 days after, I guess, technically. And instead, we spent the pandemic, our actors became musicians. So we went to, during the 18 months of lockdown, we sent them to boot camp with our music supervisor, Frankie Pine, who's incredible, just an incredible gift. And she orchestrated this boot camp, but because it was the pandemic, we also got to have the best of the best because no one was working, so everyone was available. So we have we had the top vocal coaches in the world, we had the top guitarists in the world, we had the top percussionists, because we're all on Zoom together. So our band went from actors playing a band to truly being a band. And all of that is live. We recorded live. We had 2 separate music editors. We had the music editors for the original songs, so our concert pieces, and then the standard music editors for kind of everything else.
Amazing.
But that's all them. It's all live vocal. It's all
Just so it shows, man. It shows that they're the best. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's that sense of authenticity, and that they're really playing. There's not hand doubles. There's not
Right.
It's all, like we in post, what we had to do a little bit is like just the way the cutting pattern was sometimes in a scene. Mike Poole, who was one of our music editors, he would like do one guitar strum or something just so that it matched with the edit.
Sure.
But really it was far and few between. Like it was not
just some pick up fixes.
It's just to make it
stuff,
because
whatever.
They're playing the guitar and we're recording, and
Right.
he does an extra strum even though it's not in the song. Like so we just had to match that.
Yeah, that's not.
That's
but
it.
that's the stuff you got to deal with. Those are the
Yeah.
details and the little stuff. So before we go too far here,
Sure.
you grew up in Spokane. You grew
Yeah,
up.
I'm from Spokane.
What was that experience like for you?
I grew up in 9 Mile Falls, and my parents and grandparents and aunt and uncle still live there. I'm the only one in LA. Cousins, we all I literally am in the same house. I grew up. We're not. I'm actually Sundance Golf Course. Yeah, that's
right on.
I'm not. I'm
I used
more
to play
5
that course.
mile.
One of the best rounds of my life was at Sundance. First time I broke par.
Really, me too. But that's because was my home course.
You broke par?
Yeah.
We got to go play. You must be good. I'm a
little bit out of practice.
These should be mint juleps. Let's pretend these are mint juleps because today
it
we're
is.
actually recording this on and filming this on. I wish if you're only listening to this podcast, you need to watch the YouTube version or the Spotify version because she is decked out in Masters apparel.
It is
literally the green jacket.
A green jacket
and the hat.
Rory McIlroy's playing.
I love Rory.
He's my favorite golfer.
There
we go. Yeah, my favorite golfer. Love Rory.
He wins this, man.
And
I'm so proud of him yesterday. Came back.
He came. That comeback was amazing.
Dude, it's all about getting out of his own way. Sort of.
He's exceptional.
He's
really
exceptional.
Exceptional.
Yeah. Anyway.
But
sorry.
yes, no, So I grew up in. So I went to 9 Mile Elementary, Lake Spokane.
Yep.
Lakeside Middle School. Then I went to Lakeside in my freshman year. And then transferred to Shadle.
Okay. My nephew was a volunteer part of the volunteer fire department at 9 Mile.
Oh, really?
Years.
So he did the when Santa would come, the
yes,
sleigh.
Yes,
the
Santa sleigh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Troy is a big part of that.
I love so many memories.
Right. So you went to Shadle.
So I transferred to Shadle. Yeah. To a bigger school because I wanted to play golf in college.
Speaking of Masters Green.
Yeah, exactly.
The green and gold.
Yeah, I didn't really have to change a whole lot of colorscape. And just more opportunities, a bigger school, different classes.
Yeah. And your parents went to Shadle.
Yeah, my parents went to Shadle.
So when did they graduate? Do you know?
They
because I bet I know. I bet we might know each other.
Probably Gil Price and Shelley Johnston at the time. But yeah,
Do you have any idea when they graduated from high school?
No. Not off the top of my head.
Well, how old are they? Or just tell me your dad, not your mom.
My dad was born in 1960.
60. Okay,
Yeah.
So they're older. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So it was really cool because I was the last graduating class in the old school.
I
So
remember
literally
that.
the same benches that my parents sat at, and all of that was so cool to I'm kind of a history nerd or just a sentimental person. So
those things matter.
Yeah, and so it was really
Legacy.
cool to be able to literally go to the same high school my parents went to.
Yep.
So
and I grew up in that. I grew up on Wellesley and C Street.
Yeah.
So Shadle Center. Walking to Shadle by myself. When you're a kid, it's a big deal.
Totally
it's a
big
huge deal. So that whole I have tons of friends and my brother-in-law went to Shadle, and so it's in my DNA too.
There we go.
For sure. Weird.
Yeah.
So
it was
interesting.
Yeah. So I'm homegrown, and then went to a school in Virginia for a year. Well, I was kind of after college or after high school. I just I got a semester. I took the summer into the fall of 2006. Took a couple classes at the community college just to get them through, and because I had a golf scholarship to a school in Virginia.
Oh, so you played high school golf?
Yeah, I played high school golf and then college. And then in college,
I played at Gonzaga.
Real? That's
we
amazing.
We were really bad. We were horrible.
So was
but I still got free golf.
For me, it was
it was a club sport when I was there way back in the day.
Yeah,
so.
Looking back, I would be intrigued to see now how I would do because there's just so much more assistance that's available.
Yeah.
Like, they've got swing coaches, they've got,
Right.
and I grew up on a golf course. My grandfather's a golf pro. Like,
Really?
golf is, I had a
Where
club
was he
in
the
my,
golf pro?
at Sundance. My grandparents own Sundance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I know who I've certainly met them through the years
Yeah.
because I played there a
Oh,
lot.
for sure.
Our whole family
For
did.
sure,
Whoa.
yeah. Yeah,
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was, and I learned early on that if, that I was good enough, and I think it was just they came naturally to me in a way that I think doesn't for a lot of people.
Do you think some of that was because you had a little bit in your heritage? Your
For
grandpa?
sure.
Because
Yeah.
my great uncle was a head pro at Castlegar Golf Course in Canada forever. He built literally built the golf course with 5 guys. They like cut it out in the 50s. They just found
That's
it.
so
And it's an
cool.
amazing golf course. And so I was always like, Uncle Mike, man, I want to be him. And that had an effect on me wanting to
Yeah.
play.
For
Had
sure.
to for you.
Yeah, I think it was, it was literally my backyard.
Right.
So, literally walking across the golf course with my clubs from my garage like that, just go grab a bag of balls.
Which hole?
Lived on 11.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 11. Little par 3 there?
No, it's right off of it's a par 4, and it's on the edge, like it's the outskirts.
Oh yeah, the outskirts. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking
So
about.
it's so that was
Got to hit it straight there.
you got it. Yeah, you do. You got to hit it real straight. I think for me it was. Looking back, like I wish I would have tried harder, because I was just kind of naturally good because I had grown up with clubs in my hand my whole life. And so looking back, I'm like, oh, like what. Like I wonder, like if I
Taken more seriously.
if I had taken it more seriously
Yeah.
and had like access to just what other players had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
but
what that would
then
be-
you wouldn't be. Look what you're doing though.
I know, and here we go.
Would you trade it
Trade my job, like what I do.
Would you trade that for a golf career?
No,
Right?
no,
No. You're right where you're supposed to be.
yeah, no.
No
I
doubt.
love golf. Is a great outlet when I
Yeah.
get very angry.
Yeah.
Really hit a ball real far.
Yep. Go to the range.
Really to
Pound
really
some
take
ball.
it out
I know
on a
exactly what you're talking
take
about.
it really out on a little tiny round ball.
So how was that experience of growing up? And then you went to Gonzaga. You
Yeah, and then
back,
transferred
right?
back. Yeah, transferred back home to GU.
What made you come back?
I think just I wanted to be home. Honestly, like I missed Spokane. I missed like Virginia was very different. And
East Coast, baby.
yeah, and I think I applied to GU on a whim. Like I was literally on my uncle's boat. I think like 4 days before the transfer time was allowed, and like 5 days later got a letter back saying you're accepted, and then like 5 days after that was orientation, and then 2 days after that school started. It was like bam, bam, bam.
Wow. So you started as a sophomore.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool to have those experiences. What was
Yeah.
your Zag experience like?
I loved it. It was like the best decision I ever made. To this
that's
day
great.
I've ever made was to go to GU.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every piece of
Me
it.
too. I did too.
I
Which I
worked
thought
in
I
school.
wouldn't, because it's in Spokane.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like you want to go. That's probably
You
why
wanna
you
leave.
left. Yeah, but it's such its own world, right? And those friendships, man, they still to me to this day are
I love
incredibly
it.
close.
I love everything about GU, and I think that's something that's so authentic about being a Zag, is that you either buy in to you either buy into the cult or you don't. Like it's
Or
like
you
it's just,
don't,
you just
or
like
you leave.
you are all in,
Yeah,
and I
you
love
are
that.
close.
Like I
That's
love
so true.
it's I'm a very passionate person, but I'm also like in terms of just like when I love something, I love it big.
Yeah.
And so that's what GU for me is. And I'm still friends with my professors, like a bunch of them.
Who's your favorite professor there?
I've got
Or what,
a few.
yeah,
I've got a
who's-
few because I studied broadcasting and poli sci. So
Okay.
and then my minor was women's and gender studies. So I was I have like 3 sort of groups of, and
Yeah.
the women's and gender studies was like that was just a happenstance. It's because one of my favorite professors taught a bunch of those classes, and I just wanted to take classes from her.
Yeah.
And so, which is also interesting because my poli sci degree is not necessarily in American politics, because she taught European politics.
Oh.
So I'm like really good with like the EU. Like really good.
I'll make sure to give you a call if I've got an EU question.
Yeah, well, yeah, so it's like doesn't.
Do you need a morning superpower? Dutch Bros has your back. From a classic Americano, my personal favorite, to a wild, whipped-up Rebel energy drink, they've got what you need to conquer the day, and maybe even your inbox. Swing by your local Dutch Bros today and level up.
Exist really anymore, but like it's
No, it doesn't.
you know, like anyway, it's just very funny.
Wow.
But yeah, so like, you know, I've definitely got like my professors that I just love and adore, and am so grateful to call them friends.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. It is a very special place.
Yeah.
So then before we get to where you went from, because I think how you got to LA was so cool. This is the story you tell of that. But what have you taken in the job that you do now? How has growing up here helped it? I have theories about this a little. I kind of want to see it.
I think for me, growing up in, you know, where you know your neighbors, you know your community. I think that there's this sense of community, and it's sort of like when you're working on a TV show, you're sort of like your own little ecosystem. You're spending 15 hours a day together for, you know, 6 months of filming, and then, you know, for me and with the producers and editors and everyone, it's another 10 months after that. So you sort of become a family in that sense. Yeah. And I think to me, family is incredibly important. And, you know, I think there's just a love and a passion, and, you know, it's the artistry. And, you know, moving to LA was the first time I'd ever felt like there was a community that thought like I did, like that saw the world the same way I did. In terms of creativity, and just everyone's an artist. Mm-hmm. And so that for me felt right.
Is something here, though, helped you?
Everything here.
Like having a sense of that?
Yeah, a sense of self, a sense of presence, a sense of, like, the idea of, like, giving back is something that is really, especially, like, in the Jesuit community, service, you know, being a servant leader. But I think just... I try to I'm not shy in terms of like asking for what is needed, or what is, like, that is an important skill, but also to be kind. Like the kindness gets you more, you know, more than anything. You don't, and to me that's very much authentically Spokane.
Yeah. I think that's that. Yeah, because I know a lot of people, and I've worked in LA with people who grew up there, or New York, or even DC, and I've always felt like I don't think they have a sense of what America is.
No, yeah.
And so I have this crazy theory I've had. So Julia Sweeney, who was Pat on Saturday Night Live, she was on this podcast, and I grew up here.
Yeah.
The guy that ran all of promotions for NBC during the big must-see TV years. Dave Zachariah, who gave me that cool.
Oh, yeah.
Spokane. He lives in Albuquerque now, and worked there for a while because as so much of the business has moved there, right? But he went to Shadle, and I've asked those guys. Do you know Mark Steilen?
I do not.
You need to meet Mark Steilen. He's one of the best comedy writers in the world. I mean, phenomenal. I'm sure he may have worked on the show.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably
Gross Boy, yeah.
Like, he's
about
probably
Mary, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, like he's probably. I mean, there's always.
He knows all those guys. Yeah.
I'm sure we've crossed paths.
Yeah, he wrote and produced the Tag movie.
Oh, got it. Yes.
So Mark,
okay.
Yeah, and that's a cool story because I know all those guys. They all went to prep with me. Anyway, so I've asked kind of these guys. Jess Walter's really the one who originally told me. I think shared this with me. But it's like there's something about the sensibility of growing up here where you have the sort of, you understand what America likes, because we don't talk about, you know, how the latest screenings went or
Yeah.
whatever, like we
Yeah.
don't care about the biz of Hollywood, or anything really.
Mm-hmm.
But we also feel very comfortable in West Coast big cities.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal to go to LA or Seattle or whatever. They're like part of our. It's
Yeah,
close
like-
enough that it's like, I don't care, and that doesn't worry me at all. My kids were they wanted to be actors when they were kids, and so we went through that process. My son actually was one of the voices on Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, amazing.
He's he was one of the voices on that for like 6 or 7 episodes when he was like 10, and helped him
Yeah.
buy a house here and stuff.
That's so cool.
Super cool. And great experience for him, and just. But he was so confident of finding his way around that town.
Uh-huh.
And I think if you're coming from somewhere else further east, you just aren't. I don't.
Yeah, I think
am
it's
I
a
wrong about
pacing
this?
thing. There's a pacing. LA is. It's a West Coast pace. Like
Yeah.
it really is. Like it's
There
not,
you go.
you're-
Sensibility. Whatever.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah. Right.
You
Okay.
can. Yeah, like people ask me, do I love it there? And I would say no. I would rather be here. But,
Well, you're here right now.
But I love my job, and my job
Yes.
requires me to live there.
100%.
So it's not a terrible place to live,
No.
and it's sunny all the time. And I've kind of created my own sort of family unit down there.
Yeah.
And,
Community.
I created community.
Yeah.
And it's it's lovely, and I'm so grateful.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So how did you get from Gross Boy to Reese Witherspoon
To
and-
Daisy, or
yeah.
to, I guess Little Fires was my
Yeah,
first one with them.
so tell me about Reese Witherspoon and that company that she's created, because it's really unique. I love her. Before I even knew who you were. I mean, we just met really. I love the stuff she's in. I love what she chooses. I know she's a reader. And it's
She
very
reads,
interesting
like,
that all
4 a
these
week.
shows are based on novels of some kind, a lot of them at least, right?
Yeah.
So there's something about that.
That's our,
that sort of literary thread through these. It seems?
Yeah, it's because they're all part of her book club. Like, so Reese
Yeah,
has the Reese's
right.
book club.
Right.
So so that's a lot of that's how really the company started.
Okay.
Was turning a book, like the book to screen adaptation. How I got with Little Fires, which was my first one, was because of Future Man, actually, because it was on Hulu.
Little Fires Everywhere.
Yeah, Little Fires Everywhere.
A
Celeste
series on
Ng.
Hulu.
Yeah, it's
right.
the limited series on Hulu. My first Emmy nominations were
Really
on that
good
one.
show. Yeah.
Kerry Washington
Yep.
and
And
Reese
Reese.
starred in it,
Yeah.
and then our showrunner, like Liz Tigelaar. Just incredible. It was really fun to go from like boy world to girl world. I always say I get like the
That's a
perfect,
leap right there.
I get the perfect, because I've got 3 brothers in the middle, so I'm boys, and like
That's why you handled it well with the Gross Boy comedy.
Like I'm used to it because it's like okay. But it was really fun to then to really step into this really elevated, just something like the limited series category didn't exist.
Right.
Like Reese really, or like Hello Sunshine really brought it back to a category of awards that just didn't exist really. It was sort
Yeah.
of the like movie of the week,
Yeah.
kind of the throwaway category, and now
Right.
it's the fiercest competition.
Well, the thing that's cool about limited series is that these big A-list actors can do it.
Yeah, because
Like, who's going to get stuck in a series for?
Yeah,
What if
'cause
this thing keeps going? What if it's Outlander or something?
Yeah, you're not-
just
you have a
on this thing for the
7-year
rest of your
contract.
life. There's no way.
Yeah.
Right? I know. I love those. I know. They're so. They get the best talent because like I can do 5 of these or whatever. Like, how many was it? Like
it's
6 or something?
that episode. Oh gosh, Little Fires was 10 episodes.
Yeah.
I
5
don't
Yeah,
remember.
no, it's okay.
Something of
No,
that,
no,
10,
it's
12.
okay. Well, so it was a little more than just like a 5 part. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Okay.
They've
it
scaled
was
them
sort of
back.
the old
They've
miniseries. I always felt
scaled
like that
them
was-
back now, but at the time, it was still
like
it
a
was like
one
12
season.
or 12 or 18
Yeah.
episodes. Like it was still that phase of the limited series
okay.
category.
Okay.
But so it was because they're both Hulu, and so
Mm-hmm.
ABC called. I got a phone call from ABC because Hello Sunshine is and they wanted an African American post producer, and there's not very many of us. Mm-hmm. And
How many are there?
there's
Let's be
like
honest.
10.
In the world.
Yeah, and I know that because during the pandemic we all met.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about that.
Yeah, and but so it's when you're building a brand and you're casting department heads and all of that, that we do our best to really equal opportunity. But what it also is like it's a female driven story, and post-production is a male driven department. So
it's a male driven world.
Yeah. Yes.
You are a pioneer.
I don't know if it's a pioneer. I just simply
I think you are
walking here.
Well, and sometimes the pioneers have arrows in their backs. So
yeah, unfortunately.
A few of those probably too.
But yeah, so it was, and I was invited to interview and meet, and it was my favorite. It was like Reese had only put out. It was like one of her first books that she'd put out. I think the book club had only been in existence for like a year, so it was one of the first early books. And so that was my favorite book, and I was like, I get like an opportunity to work on this. Like, yes, please. So I left season 3 of Future Man and did Little Fires Everywhere, and really,
how scary was that leap?
It was very scary because Seth and Evan are like my brothers. Like their company, like I know the story, I know Future, like that. Like that's again, I
that was your family.
It was my family, and I also didn't want to leave. Like I didn't seek out. I didn't seek out the show. It came to me.
That's something to always pay attention to.
Yeah.
Let it come your way, right?
Exactly.
In this business, I think.
And I met with them because, again, I was already working on season 3, so it wasn't I went to meet with them knowing that I already had another show. But, why not? Like I never turned down a meeting.
No, yeah, right.
And it turned out to work, to really be something special. And
what have you loved the most about working on those shows, particularly with Hello Sunshine, that production company?
Yeah, the production
right?
company. Yeah, our studio. The best thing I think. Let's see, my favorite thing. I have really wonderful bosses that makes it easier to go to work. And the challenge of it is that we're trying to put out the best product we possibly can. Yeah. And what that is, and that requires time and effort, and everyone cares so much about it. And I love that there's so much passion that's involved. And one of the philosophies that we have is, listen, like if this script or this story doesn't speak to you, it's okay that you can say no, and we'll just put you on another one that does speak to you. Like it's okay that this particular one doesn't.
Because they have enough plates going.
Yeah.
That you have that option.
Yeah.
That's really.
So it might not be this
special.
one.
Right.
Maybe this one isn't.
Be on the one that speaks to you.
Yeah,
that's
dude. Like in that, and with
rare.
And with that it provides. That means everyone wants to be there.
Yeah.
And are passionate about the story itself. And you can tell. I mean, the people who don't, or they do take it for the money, they stick out like a sore thumb. Like immediately.
Right. No. Yeah. I know.
So I just love to tell stories, and I'm grateful that I get to work with 2 companies. Really, and I mean, I did a Taylor Sheridan show as well. I'm grateful just to work with incredible filmmakers and storytellers.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
When did you know you wanted to work in this business? We talked about The Basket a little bit because I didn't know you even knew about it, but you'd actually
The Basket is one of the films that were influential in me wanting to potentially do something like this.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
I just get like.
Yeah, it was because I didn't know you could make movies in Spokane, and like that one was like sort of the one that people always referenced.
It's the first one, really homegrown one.
Yeah, and like with North by Northwest, and then that was sort of my, just kind of always kept that in the back of my head of knowing that. But I think
a possibility was created.
I
remember when we first did. They interviewed us. They interviewed me for The Spokesman. And they're like, "Why'd you guys do this?" And I just remember saying, nobody told us we couldn't. I mean, I don't know. Why not? And that's sort of possible. Possibility is an amazing thing.
Yeah, just you kind of just are there, and I try to always like not say no to anything.
But you love something about storytelling or movies, or you must.
Yeah, like I think as a kid, like I grew up. Like not like watching TV for entertainment, I guess, sort of. But I more always studied it. I more always looked at like, well, how did they get from point A to point B?
Interesting.
Or how did they? And I was doing it
subconsciously,
like not. Just or like I'd be watching like ER and be like, oh, there's a boom mic. Like it, like I was
You
already
were a post-production supervisor before you.
Exactly. Like I was doing it before I even knew what the job was. I know.
Right.
But then so
Seriously.
then I was editing at Gonzaga. I was like one of the news editors, like video editors, and then worked at KHQ as their morning show editor, video editor, and that's really sort of where I loved that piece of storytelling, and I was good at it. And so, over the journey to get to LA, I knew that post. Like the way I could get in was through post. Like that's how I could get in.
That was your door.
Because I was an editor.
Right.
So that's,
you understood that world.
Yeah, that world. And I did it, and like news, and the difference in news is that it's just scripted television on steroids.
Yeah.
Like TV shows are so slow. It's like, and I'm used to doing what we do in 24 hours.
Oh, news is nuts.
Slow.
It's crazy. It's crazy town. I've had people say this to me, a couple of experiences, because I write and it's a big part of what I do. But I think because it's for the screen, people don't sort of think that it's written. Have you ever had this, like, just being accused of, like, I had this experience not long ago. We produced a bunch of, I won't say who, bunch of stories that were well received, and they were really cool, and they were kind of narrated by someone, little bios of a life story kind of thing.
Okay.
And the person narrating it was reading the story, and so one of our clients was like, went to the person reading it that had narrated it and go, "Wow, you did such a good job writing that." And they're like, "I didn't write that. Frank wrote that." And they're like,
it's a script.
They're like, they write that? Like, video people write? And that was sort of the experience. If you had that, or is it just me? Maybe you don't need to deal with that, but we write way more than I think people. We don't really want people to know that it's written, because you just want to experience what's going on.
Yes.
You shouldn't notice that.
Yes. Those are the best actors, the best storytellers, the best writers are the ones where you don't
aware
know that it's written.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you got to tell the story of how you got to LA.
So I worked.
It's so ingenious.
I was working for Delta Airlines at the time, here in Spokane, and I had quit news, and I knew that I wanted to still tell stories, and so like LinkedIn at the time, 2012, it was very new, like it wasn't
Fledgling.
It's like the basics of LinkedIn, or literally like when you start a LinkedIn account and it's just white. Like it wasn't,
There's not a lot of content on there.
There's not a lot of content on it. And what I would do is I would watch my favorite TV shows and go and then like look at the executive producer credits or producer credits, whatever, and then see if they were on LinkedIn, or producers and editors, or whoever, and then I would like send them an invite, or a LinkedIn message or whatever, and say that I'm interested in coming to Hollywood, and would really love, like, would you meet with me? Like, would you go to coffee? And I would, so I'd set up, like, whoever would meet with me, I would set up a bunch of meetings, fly there.
Because you were flying there anyway.
Yeah.
You would plan these around your flight schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
As a flight attendant for Delta.
I was in customer service at the time, but
but you could get free flights.
I could get, I would just fly there.
Smart.
All the time. I would just schedule it, like, okay, like I'm going to meet these 5 people
I got the
on
flight
this day
paid for.
at the Coffee Bean
Santa
or
Monica
Starbucks. Just wherever, or I would, because I didn't also know the city, so I didn't know. Right. And I'd just like, so where would you like to meet? And they'd be like, oh, I'm at Paramount. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then would go to like Google Maps and be like, there's a Starbucks. Like, would you go to Starbucks with and so I tried to meet with as many people as I could, and after about a year of that, a little less than a year, and probably 1,000 resumes sent out, maybe even more, and someone then finally said, like, well, maybe I have a job for you, if you would like to, be a post PA on a show called Rizzoli and Isles, which I knew that it was my favorite show, because that's why I'd emailed them, because I only did it to my favorite shows.
That was smart.
And so
you're doing something you love.
Yeah, and so
attracting to the story.
that I attracted to. And I also didn't know I was naive. I didn't know how Hollywood worked, but like after flying there a couple of times, it then like dawned on me that I was like, oh, I have to live here, because they don't need they need a job filled like tomorrow,
right?
Not in they don't, there's like a 2-week notice. There's not like you have to just have to.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yeah, it's really that, especially as a PA. It's that start tomorrow.
Production assistant.
Yes. So then he asked, he invited me to join the show, and 2 weeks later I was down there, and I didn't have a place to live. I didn't have, my brother and I drove down. It was nuts. I can't believe
you did get a miracle apartment.
Oh my gosh. So yeah. So my brother and I were in, we were staying at a friend's house, or my friend, like her mom's house actually, in Bakersfield. And my dad made a phone call to someone from our church, and he was like, do you have, like, my daughter is driving down there. She has no idea what the heck she's doing. Do you know of anyone who has an apartment or whatever? And he was like, actually, yeah, I do. I have I'm a landlord, and like, would she be interested in seeing it today? He's like, we're just like, the tenants just moved out, so we just need to finish painting. But if she, if she wants to, like, we could do it. And literally, it was the first place we saw, because we drove from Bakersfield to go there. And it was literally that same day my brother was on a flight back to Spokane from LA. And
I
only had those hours. Like, that was really it. And I walked in and I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to live.
Yeah.
And it was it was $1,000 a month. It was a 1-bedroom.
Close to
it was literally, it was the closest. Paramount is maybe 6 minutes away, which is where I worked, which never happens.
Never.
And I was also in this I was in what's called Los Feliz. So there's, it's trees and nature, and it's like the closest thing to Spokane you could get. It's Griffith Park,
cool.
and it was like,
it
was really the perfect place for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just got.
It was, angels, blessings, whatever deity one said.
Wow.
Cosmic, meant to be.
Yeah. And you just, it worked.
It worked.
And you kept kind of bouncing.
And you just you
just take the next gig you can
just
get.
say yes to,
Say yes to it.
So I was on two seasons of Rizzoli Niles, the last 2 seasons. And then went over to Sony and did Future Man. And then really with my post-producer, Cindy Kerber, she was kind of Sony's, their kind of go-to post-producer. Mm-hmm. And so I got to work on, with Joe and Anthony Rousseau. I worked with like Seth and Evan, like the biggest names, because those were Cindy's projects, because that's her resume.
Wow.
So I got to work side by side and partner with her for, my resume was eclectic before it was small, but I had the biggest names on the biggest shows, which was, again, such a blessing. And she's actually, when she went studio side, the first phone call she did was, Mandi, are you ready for a promotion? And I was like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I need you on this show, and here's this. Like, me with the EPs, like, here's this. And I was like, oh, so and it's sort of that like sink or swim moment. You just say yes, and I'm like, okay.
You're so built for this, though. Like, I can see it instantly.
You.
You are now who you are, but you just have that, whatever that is.
I have a fear of failure.
Fear of failure, but also just instinct.
Yeah.
Right? Like thinking on your feet, like thinking ahead.
Yeah, I'm a planner.
What needs to get done before somebody asks me? That initiative piece, right?
Yeah, and like the roadmap.
You either have that or you don't.
Yeah, it can't. I don't think it can be taught.
No, I don't think it can be.
I think it has to be.
I have some of that, and I used to think that everybody could do what I do, forever, and then people are like, no.
Yeah.
Like, really? This is so easy for me.
Yeah, it's.
but it's not easy for everybody.
No, and
you start to understand that.
Yeah, you do.
Kind of growing your power about it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly like growing your power, because I didn't. Again, I was taught at GU, like I know project management. That's all it is project management and time management,
Absolutely.
and so you have to just do that. And in college, I was working 3 jobs, going to school full time, working overnights, and you have nothing but.
Right, it's a pace that's
similar. You just have to do it.
Right, just do it.
Yeah,
and you probably have run into some. So when I met you, it was the awesome women lead program at Gonzaga that you came up and spoke at. And Haley Lynch, who works for me, her mom Sherry puts it on.
Oh, it was so
and she's
fun.
like, and Taylor's like, you gotta get Mandi Price on your podcast. I'm like, okay, who's Mandi Price? I don't know. And got to hear your story, and there were some really cool questions. That was a cool day.
That was such
I know you're
a
a little
fun
out
day.
of your element because there was a lot of people there.
It was
But
it was out of my element in terms of I had yet, and this is sort of what I talked to Sherry about early on, is it was really exciting for me and an opportunity for me to talk about the leadership aspect of my job, which doesn't get talked about
Noticed
a lot.
enough.
Like
like
it's,
the writing piece.
yeah, like it's just a piece of it because people want to hear the, like, what's the most famous person you've met or what shows have you done. It didn't really talk about my shows, really. It was about me as a leader of a department head who has to who's working with all of these various departments, and how do you manage that, and because that's a whole other piece of my job. That is, I mean, I'm a producer,
Right.
and that, it's budgets, it's time management, it's meeting with, it's interviewing, it's meeting with,
It's hiring and firing.
it's hiring and firing, and what does that mean, and
big
how,
job.
and we, in TV, we don't have like training seminars. Like they don't.
Nobody teaches anybody how to do this.
No
thing.
one you don't go to like a management course. Like you don't do that. You just are here. You have now elevated, and now you are the boss
Figure
of
it
these
out.
700 people.
Well, and
you're
there's
like,
no
what?
one way to tell a story.
No.
In this medium.
No.
There's just a way that you do it. I learned.
And
that.
I'm always one to like, listen, I know how I would do it, but please, like, if you have a better way or you have a different
Absolutely.
way,
100%,
teach
always.
me. Like, and to me, I think that's a big piece of what I feel is a big piece of my success is that I just want to learn. I want to learn every person's job. I want to do like.
But you have a gift, I think, that I have too, which is when it's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you work hard to find the people that can do that.
Yes, and I am very
rare
much. I am
sometimes.
very much a person where, like, loyalty matters to me. So I tend to hire like the same sound design. Like when I love a company, a brand that I work with, or or whatever. Like they just come on every show with me. Like
Right.
it
works.
That's how I feel I can be the best leader, is actually with consistency.
Yes, because you as a team get better.
Yeah, and we get to, and we learn each other, and it's a second nature. And then with these huge high profile shows, it's things that I then don't have to worry about because I know this is taken care of, because they know me, I know them, and they've been doing it with me for 10 years. Like
Right.
it's
Right.
It's
Well, you told a few stories about how you were treated, though. The sort of looking down at you, not taking you seriously, both for men and women.
Yes,
one of the questions that I
equally.
heard was, kind of about how you sort of changed the course of how ABC television or ABC now feeds their post-production teams.
yeah. Gosh.
I don't know if you could share those stories, but
Sure.
I was so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I work in a department, like post-production, people forget it. We're kind of the redheaded stepchild, and my niece and nephews are all Ginge.
My wife is too.
So it's like, I just mean it's the idea of like,
no.
it's the outcast position,
Right.
because it's too technical and people are just afraid of, they're
Do you need a morning superpower? Dutch Bros has your back. From a classic Americano, my personal favorite, to a wild, whipped-up Rebel energy drink, they've got what you need to conquer the day, and maybe even your inbox. Swing by your local Dutch Bros today and level up.
like, I don't know, like you just all of a sudden spoke gibberish. Like they don't understand, they just don't understand it.
It's a
So they
different
don't.
language.
Yeah, it's a whole other piece.
the-
They know when they need
It's
it.
the magic in Hollywood magic.
Yeah, like but it's like too technical, and so people shy away from it, which means, it's sort of this piece, and I think for it's always interesting to like hear. It's like, wait, you're a post producer? I'm like, yeah. But the best part about that is that I get to tell stories in the same manner that everyone else does. You just don't know who I am when I do it.
It's very
which
cloaky.
is sort of what I love. I love
Right.
the anonymity of it.
Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm so grateful you're doing this.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
That is the title of this podcast.
I do.
Most people you've never heard of.
Yes, I maybe plugged that in. I think, I don't know. It's post. We tend to be put in the corner all the time. Like our offices are in dungeons. We don't have windows. We don't have literally worked in like a dentist.
Place that our editors have windows. They're just like, this is amazing.
Yeah, like we just like never work outside. We're in sound booths that are sound. We're like stuck in garages all day. We are rats is like sort of how I keep it. Like rats. Yeah, like it's crazy. But I think with these growing titles and these huge shows, it's an opportunity for the post-production department to really shine in a way. And I've
kind of a cool new era.
Yeah, and Hello Sunshine has just really made that possible for me in a way that I could have never ever imagined. And I kind of tell people like, what I do as a post-producer is very different from my friends that are post-producers in other ways. Like it's the post-producer. Yeah, because I'm also very young in doing it. Most, my colleagues are
grizzled,
or my like my counterparts are, 30 years older than I am, and I'm doing it for
they're like my age.
They when they talk like, oh yeah, like I worked on ER and that was my 20th show. And I'm like, wait, what?
Whoa.
Like that's you just are like, oh yeah, X-Files, and I'm like, 40.
X-Files.
Yeah, or like, oh I mixed Hercules and Xena, and you're like, what? I'm like, okay. So that I am very young, so yes, there is this piece of it that
and female,
rare. A female post producer, African American female post producer is rare, and you just don't. Quite frankly, you don't see it. I ran into Quinta Brunson at the Emmys, and I don't name drop. It's on purpose that because I taught a GU class that was on Abbott Elementary but it was through the education department. Our team taught it.
Cool.
And so I mentioned that to her, and she was up for Abbott and we were up for Daisy. So sort of at these award shows, it's like the one opportunity you get to meet a lot of people.
Because everybody's working.
Because we're always working on the lot.
Right.
But the studio is filmed on the Warner Brothers lot, which is right next door to Abbott Elementary, and we never saw it because our hours were just so different.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, we literally worked next door. Yeah. But anyway, so I was like, I just want to tell you like how much you're just such a fantastic writer and showrunner and actress. I taught a class at GU and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I'm here with Daisy Jones in the 6th. She's like, well, what department? I was like, oh, I'm a post producer. And she stopped and she goes, wait a minute, you're a post producer? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, wait, you are a Black female post producer? Exactly. And I go, yeah. I was like, yeah, there's all of 10 of us. She's like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And she just was like paused.
Stop.
I was like, yeah. She's like, well, why aren't you working on my show? And I was like, I'm a little busy.
Well, and how many women?
That's 10? Don't even count. Let's just put the minority African American side of it away. It's also there's hardly any females.
Exactly.
Hardly any.
So, would you mind sharing that story about the how your team wasn't getting fed?
Oh my God. Yeah. So.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. I don't know if it was desperation.
No, this is speaking truth to power now.
It's one of those things where because post is sort of neglected, we are either considered part of the team or we're considered not part of the team. It sort of depends.
Ancillary.
Yeah, and we're on with Little Fires Everywhere. We were on the same post was on floor 2 and production is floor 1. So because there's only 2 levels in the building. So we're with production, we're filming on the lot. And so we were when they do crew lunch, we'd go to crew lunch. And then all of a sudden I got a phone call saying hey, post, then there's only 10 of us. Okay. And we didn't count you in our numbers for lunches. So you guys can't get lunch in terms of budget. It's because it's all about the numbers. So if they're scheduled to feed 150 crew and
now it's 160.
Now there's 160.
You're the cutoff line.
There's, we only have enough money to feed 10, whatever. And so this is this was a problem that I had faced on a few other shows, and I thought it was odd. I just did because I'm not.
It is odd.
I didn't go to school in the business. I didn't I'm a news producer, but I just always thought I was like, is it like why is post like,
Makes no sense.
Like what writers or editors would have to put it in their contract of we get fed lunch. Like it was just like it was like a thing of like what?
Why would you have to do that?
Like
so
like
much
it was
food anyway.
it was just a problem that I kept facing, and my post producer who I just sort of always clocked that it wasn't she never like stepped up and been like she like accepted that's the way it was. Mm-hmm. And I am not someone who like really does that a whole lot. Like I just because that's how it was doesn't mean that's right.
Right.
That's just the way it was.
Right.
So with that, I called my bosses or my studio execs at ABC and I got in very big trouble. And
asking for food,
like, hey, like the team's not getting paid and like getting fed anymore. Like we're here with production.
You're just being a good leader.
Like, can we get food? Like, I don't see it in the budget. Like, what do we do? And she's like, well, yeah. She's like, you guys are on your own. And I was like, what do you mean you were on your own? She's like, yeah. She's like, I was like, wait a minute. I'm literally looking at my crew eating. There's plenty of leftover food,
right? And
you can't feed 10 of us. Like, no, you're not allowed to go get lunches.
There's tons of food.
I was like, there's always food on set. That is the one thing people don't understand about TV is I don't buy groceries because I get fed every day at work, 3 meals a day.
Yeah, craft service or cater.
Like I don't buy groceries. But with that being said, and I just was like, what do you mean? Like, she's like, Mandi, nothing is special about your show. That's it's not important. Like this, like that's the way it always been. She's like, it's
nobody
ABC
else gets
policy.
it, so you shouldn't.
Yeah, no one else gets it. She's like, what's why do you think you're so special about like Grey's Anatomy or whatever? And I paused and I was like, my show. If your reasoning is why is my show different than Grey's Anatomy, well, Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon alone make it different than
they do.
Than
oh my God,
Grey's Anatomy. Like
speaking of pioneers,
like that alone. Like do you
know who you're dealing with?
Do you know the show that I like? Yeah. Listen, like I'm not trying to be a jerk about. I'm legitimately asking. I was like, no, this is the difference between my show and Grey's Anatomy.
It's true.
Like that is the difference.
100%.
And it was just not. It didn't go over well. And then I got in trouble by a few other people. Because of that. But then it was the moment where I then was like, well, let me just like go downstairs to like Reese's trailer or go to Lauren. So Lauren Neustaedter is her president. And Pilar Savone, who's the counterpart to Kerry Washington. So I just went and like talked to them. And I was like, hey, you know, like, why is this? Did you know that this was happening? And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah. I was like,
of course they don't.
I was like, I was told that like we're not allowed to get lunches, and she's like, isn't there just like 7 people? Like really?
Yeah, 7 people.
And she's like, well, like let me get on the phone. Like what? Like what?
Yeah, didn't she say call her?
Yeah. So she's like, Mandi, call her back. And I was like, I'm not calling her back. Like,
I did my good.
Yeah, I was
deed.
like, I did the thing. I made you aware. I was like, I already got yelled at once. Like, I'm already afraid of all of you in general. Like, I'm
my first show.
Like, I also like
producer.
Yeah, it was like my third, and it was like my best friend. It was my first
yeah.
one was my best friend was a showrunner. Right. So that was
these are new people.
Like, yeah, I don't know them.
Crew. Yeah.
I don't know them. I don't have any ties to them, right. And I just was like, this is an inequality that is ridiculous.
Stupid.
Especially when we're literally on this. I mean, we share offices. Like,
right.
We're not even.
There's a table of food.
Yeah, like
it's just a polite thing to do.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's a very Spokane thing to do.
So it was anyway. So yeah. So there was like a phone call and a thing, and it was it was one of those moments for me. Like actually, there were a couple of moments with Seth and Evan on Future Man that sort of a similar situation.
Well, didn't she call
happened.
you and Reese was on speakerphone?
They all were on speakerphone. Yeah, like it was
they
like
didn't
a whole.
Quite know that.
Yeah. Yeah, there was
But it got changed.
It did, and it changed, and the policy actually got changed afterwards.
Amazing.
Money was now put in the post budget for lunches, and typically that always happened on like big shows, but not but ABC policy was just like we just don't do like that's
that was their answer. It's ABC policy.
It's policy, and I'm like, well,
Change the policy.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Can't you just change the policy? Like,
Right. Policies are
like
meant
this
to be
seems
changed.
weird. Like, okay, like, and again, it wasn't me. It
But
was just
you-
me not knowing. And I think honestly, like the ignorance of me not knowing how that world works has
benefit you.
has been a benefit my whole career.
Yeah.
because I just simply is like, well, this just seems odd.
No, that's what I mean. That perspective of kind of growing up here
Yeah.
and just like having a real life experience, like asking these questions. You're not being rude. It's an obvious question.
Yeah.
How did it change for you after that? You must have
It's-
had a little.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was heard. at
I was
least.
heard, and I was seen, and it changed, and that's all, success is, that's how it's built. And then you sort of, you just get more confident in
Yeah.
it. And for me, like now, like, but I also learned of like, oh, well, I need when I'm looking at budgets, when I look at it's like, those are things that I need to look for. Like I always look for that in a budget now.
Right.
Even though like now it's standard. It wasn't 10 years ago.
Right.
But I look for those things now.
Because you know the budget,
Yeah.
and that happened to you in COVID.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because COVID, like you said, you could literally be on the same lot with another show and you wouldn't even meet the same people, and they're your neighbor. That's how it works now. You're isolated. It's the beauty of it, and also the downside is that a lot of people don't know each other because you're siloed in your deal, and you're like, how do we compare to everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But you have,
And we also don't talk about
you
it.
don't talk about it. But COVID and writer strike or whatever,
Yeah, all of
actor
it.
strike, all shut some stuff down there for a while, and so you started to discover exactly what you were being paid, correct?
Yeah. Like what, and it was this interesting thing of I'm in such a place of like just immense privilege, and I understand that, and I know, I know what that means. And with that, for me, is there's then a responsibility that I need to take care of others, because it's not about me per se. It's how do other post producers. If I have a company gracious like Hello Sunshine or Seth at Endpoint Gray, who keep hiring me, and then I keep getting promoted, and the response keeps being like, well, Mandi, like that title, like as a corporation, we don't have post producers at that title, and I'm like, okay, again, like just because that's the way it has been doesn't mean that's the way it is.
Doesn't
And
mean it
here's,
should be that
like,
way. Yeah.
who do I need to call then,
Right.
to just get this squared away? So it's sort of that. I genuinely feel like empowered to fight for others in a way that I didn't see other post producers fighting for their teams, and that's for me is a big piece of.
Right.
And I work for companies that allow it and are not scared to challenge it, or just are like, well, if Mandi says that's the way it is, then that's the way it like.
But you got to meet your counterparts. And
Yeah,
start
and in the
talking about
pandemic,
how
we
all
talked
getting
about
paid
rate.
here.
We talked about and I actually did not realize the pay disparity that I was feeling, or that like I knew experiencing, like I knew that I knew just because of the shows that I worked on in a bigger show, bigger budget, like it's
For sure.
it's like everything, like you get
Right.
paid more in a bigger budget.
Of course.
So I knew where I was, like I knew what I was producing, or what I was part of, the team that was producing, and where we were. But then the pandemic, now none of us are working, and we all actually got a chance to like
How much are
meet
you making?
and like and I just kind of kept hearing the same thing, and I'm like, gosh, like that, like I got paid that my first show. Like you are more experienced than I am, and what?
So how severely underpaid were you?
I mean, I was not the one that was underpaid. It was my counterparts,
counterparts.
that were
I see.
that were underpaid. I was the one that was like,
You were the lucky one.
I was the like, wait, what?
You were working for people that
Like,
actually
that's-
paid you.
Yeah, like I've been, again, just a piece of such gratitude, and it's
It opened some eyes.
it did, and I mean, I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of emails.
It's a sorority fraternity.
Yeah,
When you work with other people that do the thing you do, there's a connection that you understand their world, and they should get what you get, right?
Yeah,
And
like,
know the
I
shows
just-
they're making.
I mean, I know the
job
role
they're
that
doing.
we're doing the same thing. I'm like, how in the world, and really what it was is actually there was this one African American post producer who I spoke to, and she was making less than I made on my first show, and she had like 4 Emmy nominations, and I couldn't believe it when she said, I was like, well, because it's something we don't talk about, and
Right.
and as producers, we're not
don't even
represented
know
by
what
a
you don't
union.
know.
We're not a union, like
Right.
we're not. So we don't have a base rate.
independent contractors.
It's purely what the studio offers, and some studios pay more, some studios pay less. And she got kind of trapped in the studios that paid less.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got out of that world, that I, there are studios now that I can't even work at because I make too much.
Right.
Which,
Right.
and again,
Makes
this isn't
sense.
like in a pompous thing. It's
No,
it's that
it's
it's
not.
that they have a rate for a post producer, and I've outpaced that. But
Right.
I am only getting paid what I'm worth. Like that, it's
Right.
that should be the minimum. Like I've got,
Yes.
like we produce shows. Here's my resume, and here's what the content that
Right.
and the teams that I've worked with and the people that I work with, and here's this, and it's resume based.
Yeah. Well, and all of those experiences, I know you shared a little bit about. You had to have had two moments where like I'm out of here. I'm
Yes.
over my head. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna.
I always have
whatever.
that moment.
And you shared the story of your friend Marissa.
Yeah. So Marissa was like my best friend, my sister. She was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer when we were 22, 23. And so I was still here in Spokane. I was working at Q at the time, and watching someone so young and someone you love so much go through something like that, it changes you. And I remember sitting with Marissa shortly before she had passed away, and she had told me that or her request, I don't know, and she's like you need to live the life that I couldn't live. Like that is your
That I won't be able
that I'm not going to be able to live, and that was sort of the challenge. And I feel like I've made her proud in some ways and disappointed her in others, and I try to do the best I can with what I have. And I think for me that's been a sort of a pillar of why I do what I do. And at the end of the day, I'm also scrappy and resourceful. And if if I decide that if I don't get butterflies when I see the Hollywood sign anymore, then I need to leave and do something else anyway.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's always been a thing of like, I can always go home and do something else.
Yeah.
I'll
You
go to
can.
law school. I'll go to, it doesn't
can.
matter. Like
You can do anything.
I can always go do something else if I don't love this. And to me, that's a gift.
She's still with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
She still helps you.
Yeah. Oh.
So you come back a lot.
Yeah, I'm home all the time.
Why?
My niece, my nephews, my family.
What do you love about
they're
it?
all
Why?
here.
Just family.
My family's here. Yeah. I'm the only one in LA, so it gets
Yeah.
lonely, and I
Yeah.
don't want to miss out on. Like literally this morning, I went to my nephew's soccer game. Like that,
Sweet.
he didn't even know I was coming. But
Aw.
it was a bit surprise, and he's little pitter patter feet on the floor. He's like, Auntie M, like, what are you doing here? And it's those moments for me that I really love, and I don't want to miss out on the family of things like growing up.
Oh, and you can come. It's so close, really.
It's a 2.5 hour
Well,
flight.
that's one of the things when we were talking a little early before we started this about the film business here and the ability for this. I was part of an early conversation with the state and lobbied them for the incentives. I mean,
Yeah.
everything in New Mexico is because they have an incentive that's better than other states.
Yes.
Period. It's not
Period.
the best place to shoot anything.
No.
And you can shoot in Spokane. I've always thought this is the best backlot for LA.
Yes.
Because you can shoot anything.
For
From
anything.
from forest to Palouse,
Yep.
to lakes
desert,
and rivers
to
everything
rivers,
in
to-
30 minutes. I can't. It takes me a day and 2 days in Seattle to shoot what I can do here in a day.
Exactly.
Because it's just so diverse. It's downtown fix for a downtown anywhere. It's
Anywhere.
perfect. The only missing thing is a decent incentive. It's
Yes.
not a good incentive, so I've lobbied that with the state, and I just stopped. I'm like, but
Yeah.
if that incentive ever got on par with what you've got in New Mexico, this would be a boomtown.
Oh, it would be mad because
Would-
it's also
is this
so
would be Vancouver-
easy. Like it's
Easy direct flights.
direct. It's easy.
Easy. I mean, everything would be here, and I don't. I'm preaching to the choir. You understand that?
I try-
But
you
it's
know,
just,
I'm
I sort
trying.
of think
It's-
maybe it's okay. But man, that was what I hoped after we got the basket done. Like this could be that place,
And it
where
still
we
is-
could make great stuff. You could make,
Yeah. There's every single
Daisy
show I've
Jones
worked
and the
on.
Six. You could make that here. You
Yeah.
could do that kind of stuff.
Every show I've worked on.
Do you need a morning superpower? Dutch Bros has your back. From a classic Americano, my personal favorite, to a wild, whipped-up Rebel energy drink, they've got what you need to conquer the day, and maybe even your inbox. Swing by your local Dutch Bros today and level up.
There's more often than not, there's a conversation about filming in Washington. Mm-hmm. Like
Really?
always.
There's
always one, and
It just doesn't pencil.
it just does. Yeah, it
It
just
doesn't. Even the Tag movie that was set in Spokane
Yeah.
was shot in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Because the inside of it George is better.
because
It's like so weird.
it is weird.
The other thing one of the last two things, because I don't want to keep you forever. We have the Masters to watch. Let's be honest. The people think post production. I mean, a lot of people think post production. Well, here's the show. Go make it.
Yeah.
And you are wisely, or maybe that's part of the industry now, or whatever. You're at the front end of this now.
Yes.
You're on the set, and you
I'm
told
on
a story
set
about
almost
how
every day.
much you have saved the budget of a movie by going, am I the only one seeing that door's not shut? And what
Yeah.
that's going to cost us in post because we got to get rid of it or whatever?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Because I think
Sure.
it's so... A huge part of post-production's job is actually on the set.
Yes. And also, there's so many things that are happening on any given day. I mean, a crew list is 400 people. They all have very
city.
specific jobs.
It's a city.
And they're not, and post is also another specific job.
Yep.
So it's not, I don't feel it's necessarily the responsibility of the producer who's not a post producer to be sitting there looking at something that I've seen. Like sure, it's everyone's job to make sure a boom doesn't come in, but it's not even necessarily that. Like that's, and yes, it's a script supervisor's whose job for continuity,
Yep.
but also like they're busy too doing that. Like it's, so for me,
They have a very specific task.
yeah, exactly.
That requires a lot of focus.
So much focus, and so like they're worried about the dialogue being set
right.
in the same way, and like
right.
there's other continuity things that come into place there, and so we have learned, like, again, I've just worked with great producers who are like, well, why isn't Mandi here, versus everyone else is like, no, post isn't allowed on set, and you're
Right.
like, what
Exactly.
like what do you mean, like what? Okay, so
That's most of the time.
no, that is all. Like
That's all the time.
It's a
Okay,
very
that was
unique
my
skill
sense.
that it's why one hires me.
Right.
Because
Why would somebody pay for them to be on the set? Well, what are you saving on the back end?
Yeah, and it's it's not that I'm not on set. I guess when we're filming LA I can be, but I also have like other things that I need to be doing.
Yeah.
But there are specific reasons as to what I look at when I'm sitting on set, and and for me, a lot of my job is education, and it's training producers to think like that, to think post forward, because it does save them in the end.
You're coaching.
And it's you record this way, and this is what you then don't have to do later on, and it's a 2-second fix.
Right.
Like it does. It's
Right.
I'm not adding any time to our production day. It's just making someone just 1% more aware of what's happening. That then saves it down the road.
Big time. Because you're not having to.
Because we're not
fix
having to fix it. Because anything post does has a huge dollar sign.
Yep.
Like it's a big dollar sign, and
Yeah.
they don't understand it. They do not understand because it's time and
with
money.
the advent of CGI and all the
Yeah.
and all the tools now, you can kind of fix anything.
Sort of, but there's
But
a render time. There's a speed.
It's also expensive,
and it's expensive. It's like, yeah, I can fix anything for the right dollar.
Yeah.
It's that also most people forget to put money in post.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you just have to pay the editor.
Right,
No,
right. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
love that for you.
Yeah. No kidding. Any advice for somebody that's coming up and wants to be the next Mandi Price?
Gosh,
Like particularly a woman who's like,
kinder.
what's this industry
be
like?
nice, be kind, be nice.
Oh, come on.
I think if you want to, the thing about working in Hollywood and working in LA and all of that is it's all action based. I can know how to, like, everyone starts at the beginning. Everyone starts at the PA. Like, it really is under like severe nepotism that you actually don't like, and even the most highest of nepotism, they still ended up getting coffee for people. Like everyone sort of starts at the ground floor, which I love. I didn't know that about the industry, and so for me, it's like if you want to make movies, you have an iPhone that has iMovie. Like, make movies. Like,
Right.
you have to do
You have
like
all the tools where
you
need
do
right
it. You
now.
have all the tools
Exactly
because
right.
every time you direct your 5 friends, and then you take that to the edit bay, and you're like, oh, I wish I would have gotten this piece. I wish I would have gotten that piece, or why didn't I get this, or what? Like,
learn.
that's all filmmaking. That's all it is every show you learn more and you learn how to do it. So my suggestion is always is to do it. If you want to be an actor, I did this documentary called Becoming King. I was invited to finish it with David Oelio and his company, and his wife directed it and shot it. And it's the 7 years it took to make become like the Martin Luther King movie that David Oelio was in. And so she, from day one, the day the script, like, she has home video of David, transforming literally into Martin Luther King.
Wow.
And to me, that movie, the most significant piece of that movie was the pure dedication that David Oelio had to become. I mean, he's from the UK and Africa.
Right.
He's not even US.
Not even.
And then you talk like Martin Luther King's accent.
Right.
So he had coaches, and he had dialect, and I mean, you see he gained so much weight
Right.
to like do that show or that feature. And to me, it's the thing that I've tried to articulate for a really long time is I would never want to be an actor. I would never want to be in front of the camera. Because it just doesn't interest me at all.
Right.
But if you are not willing to do that for every single role, where you are promised that role, and then 7 years later you actually do it, if you're not willing to do that, then quite frankly, like, why are you here?
Why
You just
are you
want
here?
money.
Right.
Like, that's
You'll never do great.
Yeah, to be like, you're either an actor or you want to make money or you want to be famous. Like, those are all not the same thing.
They're not the same thing. No, they're not the same.
And it's very rare that all 3 of them happen at the same time.
Right.
So that's sort of what I always. But I believe that in anything, though. If you, like, whatever you are good at or whatever you want to do it well.
Yeah.
Do it excellent.
Well, I think these jobs that we have, which are very. You talked about how you don't always love your. I don't know how you said it, but I don't always love the job I'm doing, but I love my job.
Yes.
Like, I never work. Like, this is not. I don't work ever. Like, it's so fun. Like, I just love what I do.
Yeah, like, my
I'm
week
the luckiest
this week
person
has
in the world.
Yeah, I'm the luckiest. Like, my week this week has been insane. Like, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to make it. Like, I didn't even know if I could
tell.
Get on 2 planes. Like, I can like leave my desk for 2 hours. Like,
Right.
For
It's
3
nuts.
like it's been crazy.
But you do get better at this job. Like,
Yeah, I'm more
old,
efficient
man.
than I ever have
I'm
been.
so much better now at this job than I've ever been.
Yeah, but I
And
also
I've done
just
this for
such
35 years.
Like,
You know what I
a
mean? Like, you
great
just
team.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. Is you get
Yeah.
people around you that are, I'm
Better
super
than I
lucky.
am.
I'm 58, and I'm around. Everybody's way younger than me.
Yeah.
They're all under 35, most of them, and I learned tons from them.
Yeah.
And I think they learned something from me once in a while.
Yeah, I'm
but,
just here
But
to-
it's just so, it's just a job you get better at, and not a lot of that isn't always the case.
No.
All these guys playing the Masters today, they're
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, you get to my age, they're done.
Yeah.
And they can kind of keep playing, but it's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
You're going to be when you're at my age, if you're still in this business, and you probably will be, you're going to win Oscars.
If I could,
You're
if I would only be so lucky.
You are. You're going to make amazing. You're already doing it. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I
You
just
gotta. You acknowledge that once in a while.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Good. I noticed that. That's
my
good. You
world
should.
is crazy. Like, again, like,
Yeah.
how I always describe it as, like, I have the best job in the world I didn't know existed. Until I moved to LA, I didn't know that what I do now was a job.
Right.
Like, I didn't know it.
Right.
And how lucky is that? And so I try to expose as many people as I can to post-production and what it is. I'm with Evan Goldberg. I'm on the board of his charity called Real Start, and we have a school in Toronto and we have a school in LA. and we take students in high school and they apply for this after school program.
Cool.
And for a full semester, they go script to screen. So they write a script, produce it, direct it, all of it. Like it's all of it. And it's underprivileged or minority youth who wouldn't, like, they don't necessarily have the opportunities to go to college because do that. And yet they're working with all, like, the best of the best. Like, it's all of, it's the professionals on a like, we're their mentors, and we follow the process with them. And they work at my facilities. It's the editors that we hire on our shows, and it's a world that opens up to storytelling of a world that, and
lives,
to me,
man, and families.
That's what I didn't know. I didn't know that this was possible,
right?
Because no one from Spokane, and I didn't go to film school, and I didn't, that just.
I would also say that I bet you have, in some ways, progressed more because you didn't go to film school.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I
didn't either. I don't know.
Not that that's
scrappy.
Not
good.
A little more
gotta figure it out.
About it.
You're just like up against the wall a lot more.
It's a little bit more.
And you're
scrappy.
learning, like you said. Why has anybody ever?
Well,
you're noticing things that otherwise you wouldn't.
No.
And you said something. I don't know how you said it, but I've always said this is the way I've always said it. Is that particularly when you're dealing with kids who come out of college or whatever, or you're on a set with people that are new. There's two kinds of people. There's people that don't know anything and admit it.
Yeah.
Or there's people that don't know anything and pretend they do.
Yes.
And I'll take the guy that at least admits it.
Yeah, I'm the first person to be like, I have no idea. Like,
right.
I don't know, but
I've
I'll go
been
figure.
Like, I don't know.
Like, I'll go figure it out, or like, if this is the thing, I was like, I have no idea.
That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
I'm like, I don't know, or I do know how to choose
I don't know
what
is
I
a good
think
answer
it is.
sometimes.
Like, I do know how to do this piece of it, don't know how to do this, but like, let me go call. I'll figure it. Like,
hell yeah.
Like, I'll go ask the questions and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Or quite frankly, I rely on my vendors and my teams a lot because they're, their specialty. Like, Daisy is a really good example of this. We mix our shows at Formosa, and one of the things is we brought them on our sound team like almost right away, because I was mixing another show with them, and I was sitting there asking, I was like, well, like, we have these huge concert scenes, like what, like how, like
crazy.
How is it going? What is going to be the best way to get it here and sound like a concert here? Like on the sound stage.
Right.
And like, well, Mandi, put microphones with the audience while they're recording. That way we're not looping. Yeah, that way we're not looping, and you're also, well, I mean, we have to loop anyway, but that way you're getting the environment, the sound in the space in which you're filming. And we can always make it more.
Right.
Like, we can enhance it, we can change it. But like, if you just don't have it, then we're starting from scratch.
Right.
And that was that was
such a smart,
I asked that
simple,
question.
Smart idea.
That was
Great question.
18 months before we even went to camera.
Well, it's kind of the first thing you'd want to know, like how they did that. I know in Stars Born, like how the hell they do that? Well, they just got on the end of Willie Nelson's tour and went, hey, can we sing a couple songs and just film it and see what the hell happens? I mean, there's nothing better.
There's nothing better.
You still got Lady Gaga and Bradley, you're like, well, come on. The crowd's going to go crazy for him regardless. And it so sold it. I was like, duh.
Yeah.
Like, that's easy.
Exactly.
Actually.
Take what's...
On the producing side, kind of, I mean, not logistically easy, but so much better than recreating the whole freaking thing that would never feel the same.
Yeah, and in VFX, VFX sells a lot, and a lot of our crowd was visual effects just because we were filming after the pandemic. Yep. So we just couldn't be.
You don't have people.
We couldn't have as many people in spaces. But even like Zoic, our visual effects company, they were advising us very early on of here's how we accomplish this, here's how we do it together, here's what we can do digi, here's how, like, cool. And I think to me that's
homework, man.
That's a big piece of, I don't know how to do this. Every show is built differently, but I learn new skills along the way.
And the question to ask.
That
needs to get answered.
I don't know how to do this.
Right.
But you are an expert in this, so what do you
think?
If it were your perfect world, what would you receive
if you could wave a magic wand?
Yeah, like if for the concert, like what sound could you receive that would help you do your job the best?
That's so cool. What's next? Lucky?
Yeah, I'm on Luck. I'm on a.
Tell me about Lucky.
Lucky is a Hello Sunshine show. Another one. That's a book to screen. Anya Taylor-Joy is our lead and an executive producer, and it's about a woman who's a con artist who's on the run. It's very fun. It's gritty. Jonathan Tropper and Cassie Pappas are showrunners and are co-showrunners and writers. It's kind of the grittiest show we've ever done at Hello Sunshine, which is super fun to be part of. And it's filmed in. We were in Vegas for a little bit, and then it's filmed in LA, and it's excellent. It's so good. The writing is incredible. And then later on in the year, I will do the Legally Blonde prequel called Elle.
No way.
Yeah.
And that's the other part about your job is you really don't know.
No.
2 years from now, anything.
No.
Right? People are like, hey, are you available in? I'm like, probably. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like a 2-month out guy.
Yeah, I'm like,
After
I don't
that, I don't, I'm going to go to my daughter's graduation. And, otherwise.
Yeah.
But you were busy, but you're busy in so concentrated spaces.
Yes.
Yours is more mapped probably further out than mine is.
No, but
still,
it's the same. It's just project management of like.
Right. But you really, it's sort of a freedom to that. Like.
There is. It's scary
But
at times.
I could just stop if I wanted at some point and say
Yeah.
no. But it's hard to get off this train, isn't it?
It is. It's a little bit of a.
Yeah.
You're addicted.
You
slightly.
can't leave the. You can't leave
No,
the show.
at least
or
not.
Once you're out, you're kind of. I
Yeah.
always have that. Once you stop, you never can really restart. I don't know. Maybe that's
the industry just changes and it's always
so
changing
fast. Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
But I always say if I don't like it anymore, I don't love every day, but I do love my job, and if I ever get to a point where I don't love it, then I'll go find something else that I do love.
5 years from now, if you did get to wave your magic wand, what would you want to do that you haven't, or you just don't even think about it?
I don't even think
just think
that
of what
far.
comes my way. And
I just say yes to everything because I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what.
Right.
I know the things I don't want to necessarily do, but I also want to be open-minded to an opportunity. Like I don't want to. Everyone asked me, "Do you want to be a writer? Do you want to be a director? Do you?" And I was like, if someone asked me to direct
you could do it.
Then I don't know. I mean, I could maybe. I don't know if it'd be any good, but I know the people to ask who would help me make it.
You're a
well.
storyteller, right? You could do it.
Like I think that it's sort of that I don't know my skill set. I mean,
You'd have the material would really have to just
I would know what to do, but I'm
Right.
also not perfect, and I don't know how to. That's a role that is very specific, and I think there are better directors than what I ever could be.
Yeah, right.
But I'm also willing to learn, and sure, I'll say yes.
Yeah,
Great,
of
let's see what happens.
Dude, I'd let you direct. I mean, you would.
Please,
really? No, you'd be.
Yeah.
I mean, last question: How it is such a pace and I have a bit of a pace. Mm-hmm. Can't eat anywhere near what your pace is.
Yeah.
The constant juggling, you're just on a lot all the time.
Yeah.
How do you chill? How do you come here maybe?
Like relax.
Yeah. Is it meditation or is it? I mean, I do some of that. I have a sort of routine of things that I have to kind of get grounded.
Yeah,
How do you do it?
Contrary to I am an introvert. I'm not a big being in crowds of people and so being surrounded by people going to parties that's actually really not. I don't find
lose
solace
energy
in that.
from
Yeah,
it,
I lose a lot and it takes me a while to recover because of it. I'm pretty sure I'm still tired from the Emmys 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
What was that like?
That was crazy. That was nuts. It was nuts to go to to be on a show that was nominated for so many. Because the first year with Little Fires, we didn't get to go because of the pandemic.
Oh,
so
right.
so none of us got to celebrate our Emmy.
What an experience!
So then to get to be nominated a second time, which is, I mean,
you could go a whole lifetime and not have
that. I assume I will. I assume that there will never be another time.
You have to kind of assume.
You just don't. You just don't, the competition's so
incredible.
And so you just, for me, I build a lot of Lego. I go to with my LA family. I've kind of made a little home with the kids that I babysat and now are older. I've tried to make a family home unit so that on the weekends I have something, or quite frankly, I just sleep or I just stay in bed and
kidding.
read. I read. I don't actually watch a lot of television or films. I read a lot.
Yep.
So I read or just sit in my house and honestly do nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're I get to wear sweats all day.
Yeah, no one's gonna ask me a question.
Right. Well, and today you're gonna go watch the Masters.
I'm gonna go watch the
I'm
Masters.
gonna let you go do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with my niece and nephews and watch the Masters.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me. Truly, thank you. It's
really?
Such an honor. Yeah, this is great.
It's inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Keep it going.
I'll try. I'll try my best.
You are now. Yeah. Well, cheers. One last time.
Cheers.
Okay. You're out. I'm out. Okay, there we go.
MIP Podcast was filmed at the studio of Corner Booth Media. Please sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere podcasts can be found.
We'd love it if you'd rate, review, and subscribe to help our podcast grow. Be good to yourself and stay interesting.